I've always been a huge fan of RPGs, but I've missed a few series along the way. The biggest one I think is Dragon Quest. So, with Dragon Quest XI coming to the Switch soon, I want to change that. As far as series go, I've mainly stuck with Star Ocean and Final Fantasy. For whatever reason, I've never picked up a Dragon Quest game. It's a series I've been aware of, but with this port coming to the Switch, I've been hearing a lot more about it. And one sentiment I've heard pretty often now is Dragon Quest is a much better series than Final Fantasy. So as a big fan of Final Fantasy, I want to see how it matches up, and with Dragon Quest XI just a month away, I also want to try and play through Dragon Quest 1 through 9 in 30 days. So, without spoiling too much, I did a little research. Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are considered the ORAC Trilogy, and I've heard the iOS versions of these are pretty well done. I spend a lot of time commuting, so I think those versions will work best for me. I've been on a bit of a retro kick lately and just recently played through Final Fantasy 1 and 2 for the first time. So I'm pretty interested in seeing how this trilogy will compare. Now 4, 5, and 6 are considered the Athiya Trilogy. Again, I heard 4 on the iOS is a good version, so I've chosen that one. While 5 and 6 will be played on the DS. Dragon Quest VII is still in there. I've heard some scary things about that one, like it could be a 100+ hour game. I don't know if that's true, but if so, wow. I do have a 3DS, but no good way to capture gameplay. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. So it might be the PlayStation version for that one. Dragon Quest VIII will be the PlayStation 2 version, and 9 will of course be played on the DS. For the most part, I'm only really interested in playing these games for the experience. I mean, it's such a big series that I've missed out on. At the same time though, I think it'll be fun and interesting to eventually compare them with their contemporaries. So for example, Dragon Quest VII came out in Japan in 2000, along with Final Fantasy IX, Vagrant Story, and Skies of Arcadia, to name a few. So while this series is mostly about seeing what Dragon Quest has to offer, eventually I would like to go into deeper comparisons between these games. That being said, I will probably mention things like that along the way. Unfortunately, Dragon Quest has been a series I've ignored. But from what I've seen of 11 and all the positive things I've heard about this series while looking into it, I'm very excited to play through them all. And hopefully this little challenge will make it that much more interesting. So enough of that, it's time for Dragon Quest 1. Thank you all for your time. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.